Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Monday. Oh, what a beautiful Monday it is, too. It is so pretty outside today. I was actually thinking earlier, I was like, I think I took the dogs out early, and I was like, if it is still nice when I get up, I think I'm gonna go to the pool and just spend the whole day at the pool today. And then when I got up, who's going down the street? And then when I got up, it was a little bit cloudy outside, so I was like, I think I'll film a video or two, and then I got into filming videos, and before I knew it, Alex was on his way home, and so I was like, there's a lot of traffic right now in the street. There's a lot of cars going by and stuff. It's usually pretty quiet out here. But before I knew it, it was like the day was over. So I did go for a swim last night. I did go for a walk last night. I don't know that I'm gonna go for a walk tonight. I'm gonna try. Even if it's just for 15 or 20 minutes, I'm gonna keep it going. But I have to be honest with you, it has been a while since I've walked any kind of length, and last night I walked 56 minutes. Very proud of myself. I pushed myself. I wanted to walk longer than that, but I'm a little sore today. My legs are a little sore today. So, I don't know. I'm gonna try. Right now, we're gonna do the time and temperature check, which is important. And I'll explain to you in just a second why. It is currently 5:26 p.m. And the reason why that's important is because Alex has another appointment at 6 o'clock with the door person today. So for the back door. So I guess they had made the appointment before he left to come out here and take further measurements or something like that. I did not know that. So they're supposed to come out here at 6 o'clock today. So I'm gonna vlog from now until whenever they show up. And then when they show up, we're gonna deal with that. And then I'm gonna go inside for the appointment. And then when they leave, I will finish my vlog. So I'm trying to get to my vlog now so it's not too late. Because if not, and they're here till like 6:30 or 7, then I won't start my vlog till 7 or 7:30, and then I definitely won't walk. I am trying to walk tonight if I can, even if it's just for a little bit. I think like last night when I started walking, I was like, it is so hot, it is so humid outside. And then as I got into it a little bit, I was like, okay, I'm good. I think that if I get even 10 minutes into my walk, I'll want to walk for a while. Because I really enjoyed my walk last night. I finished 2 books and started a 3rd book yesterday. Not on my walk, but throughout the night last night. So I'm sore, but I think that when all's said and done, I am going to force myself to walk because I'm trying to get back into the walking again. Okay, so temperature-wise, let's see what the temperature is. I have no idea. It says it's 84 degrees, but it feels like 90 right now. And then tomorrow, let's see what the temperature is supposed to be like tomorrow. Tomorrow it's supposed to be, it can't be. Oh, tomorrow it's supposed to be 89. Oh, it goes down 10 degrees on Wednesday. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 89, partly cloudy with afternoon showers or thunderstorms, high 89. And then Wednesday, 79, overcast, cooler and less humid. And then Thursday, 79. And then 83. Oh, this weekend, 76. Oh my gosh, next Monday, 76, 76, 77, 80. Cooler temperatures, or does that mean fall is right around the corner? I don't know. Could be. I just poured my very first cup of coffee for the day. Alex is upstairs. He is watching, what's that show that he said he thought was like Gossip Girl? He's real into it now, but he told me, he goes, it's not like Gossip Girl. I said, I told you it wasn't like Gossip Girl. The Summer I Turned Pretty. I said, those were like famous books when I was like my early days on BookTube. He goes, they're books. I said, yeah, I think they're like is it by Jenny Han? Is that who wrote The Summer I Turned Pretty? Hold on a second. Jenny Han wrote some book that, what's the books? That they turned into TV shows that were, she wrote The Summer I Turned Pretty and To All the Boys I Loved Before. Those books were such a big deal. What year did it come out? Oh yeah, that would make sense. 2009. No. What year was my first year on BookTube? 2016. So maybe it was To All the Boys I Loved Before. Oh, P.S. I Still Love You, I feel like came out. She hasn't written a book in a long time, it looks like. Does she have a new book coming out? What is Jenny Han's most famous book? To All the Boys I've Loved Before. I feel like I remember a lot of those booktubers talking about that back in the day. But anyway, so he's watching that right now. I think he's on season 2 already. And he's folding towels, because I did like 3 loads of towels. So he's folding towels. And the dogs are hanging out in the bed with him, hanging while he's like folding towels and stuff like that. So they have had quite a day. They've been running around. They've had leash training. They have had a good day today. So we have had a good day today. I'm just really... Well, okay, you know what? I gotta say this first, because yesterday I said it a couple times in my vlog, and then I may have said it, but I don't know that I ever did. I referred to like some kind of hell that I'm going through right now. Okay, I think I might be passing a kidney stone again. I don't know, but I kind of think I am, because how I have felt... Well, I started talking about it, I think like a week and a half ago. I really should have started, when it started, I should have written down and dated it. But anyway, I'm sure somebody, when I say that, will go back and they'll be like, it was actually on. But thank you, that would actually be really helpful. But you don't feel like you have to do that. But it was like a week and a half ago or something. But then it didn't happen for like 4 or 5 days. This is where I feel like this is the beginning stages of it, because it's kind of like how Miami was. Like today, I have felt great all day today. But last night was not good. Last night was not good. Like, my like abdomen and my bladder were like hurting, and I just was like, am I passing a kidney stone? Like, and here's the deal with it, that before I went to so many doctor's appointments, I went to the ER several times. I'm not doing all that again. Like, I mean, if I have to, if I'm in enough pain and I have to go to the emergency room, I will do it. But that's just a lot, and it gets expensive with the ER visits and stuff. I mean, I feel like I know what I need to do this time, especially like now that there's like a history of it, and also in talking to my doctors and stuff like that. Today, my plan was that if I woke up today and I was still hurting like I was hurting last night, I actually went to bed really early last night. Well, not really early, but early for me. It was like 3:30. I went to bed, which, you know, that's early for me. I just could not get comfortable in the chair. And part of it was my legs were hurting. And so I was like, are my legs hurting because I'm walking? But then my lower bladder was hurting. And it's been kind of like, what's going on with the camera? It's been kind of like, one day is on, I feel like this, you guys, I was really going to try to do the table video today. I really was. No, like seriously, I really was. It's no joke. Well, this one, I think, this table video is just pulling it out of the box. I've never even opened the box, so I don't know. But I think it's literally, I bought just this exact same table right here. So it's literally like just pulling it out of the box and putting it out here. I'm kind of like, as long as I can make this one last, why bring out the new one? It's kind of how I feel a little bit. But I was gonna try to do the table video today, putting the table together. And that was gonna actually be my last video that I did for the day. And then Alex texted me that he was coming home, so I was like, okay, he saved me, Somebody put the other day, I must have said something like, I mean, I never remember what I say in my vlogs, like the second I turn them off, but I must have said something like, if the fireplace is fixed and I put the table together, then my vlogs will be so boring. And somebody commented and they said, no, Peter, your vlogs will never be boring. That was really sweet, so thank you. But, so yeah, it's kind of been like every other day with like the pain, but it also moves, which is very similar to how it was with the kidney stone. My back has been hurting too, but it doesn't hurt the way that I don't know. I feel like the back pain, I feel like I have like 3 things going on at the same time, if you want to know the truth. I feel like the back pain is from sitting straight up like this in bed filming videos. It doesn't feel like how it felt at first. I don't know. I'm just telling you, it is under my belief that I think that I might be I'm at the beginning stages of passing a kidney stone. Hopefully it will not be like the one before. The thing is, with before, it kind of like every day it got progressively like worse and worse and worse. This is not like this. Like, whenever I started talking about it, like, I don't know, a week and a half ago, it was like, there'd be like one day, and then there'd be like 2 or 3 days where I didn't feel anything. Last night, I wasn't like in excruciating pain. I just couldn't get comfortable. And it was my lower bladder. And I hadn't drank a lot of water or anything like that. The one thing is, like, I'm not, like, other than like waking up a lot and going to the bathroom, I'm not going to the bathroom a lot throughout like the day and night. But like last night, I couldn't get comfortable. And then today, I feel completely fine. So I don't know really what it is, but very much have, you know, and I know when people be like, oh, we are passing kidney stone, you're drinking coffee. This will be like the 1 cup, and I'll probably finish like a third of this and then like pitch it out, because that's usually what I do when I vlog. I forget, like when I bring it, make the cup of, it's more of like ritual to bring the coffee out here. It's like when I used to like bring the Diet Cokes out here on the Diet Dr. Peppers, and people would be like, Peter drank so much Diet Coke, because I'd have 1 Diet Coke in a video that I wouldn't even finish. And then people would be like, you really need to slow down the Diet Coke. And I'd literally have like a Diet Coke for the vlog, and that was it. I don't drink that much coffee anymore. I really don't. And last night, I had a cup of herb tea and some water. So that was like really all I had last night. But anyway, today I feel great. So I'm like, and one of the reasons why I walked last night was because I was like, well, maybe that'll help. Because I think I read somewhere that like walking or moving like helps with kidney stones a little bit. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't read that anywhere, and I was just thinking that. But I did walk, so that's all that matters. But anyway, okay, so stretching my legs out. I hear somebody out there. It's one of my neighbors is out. I can hear them. It's not that neighbor though, because I can see their, from the window across the street, I can see into their driveway, and they're not out there. So maybe it's Laura. Oh no, it's probably my neighbor across the street, because their garage door is open. So yesterday, Sunday, what did I do? Why am I not remembering Sunday yesterday? Went to brunch, came home, I vlogged. I don't really remember what I did between when I vlogged and when I walked. It was like, I think it was like 6. Would have been before that. Maybe 5:45 when I started walking. It was still sunny outside. I took a picture. Well, actually I took a couple pictures, but one of them was at the beginning, one of them was at the end. So this picture, hold on a second. Oh, look at little Walter Wiggletoes on the bed today. I was sitting like with my back against the pillow, and Otis was right here, and he had one of those like little, like those, they love those little, what are they called? I can't remember. They're when I say bones, they're not bones. They're like the plastic bones, you know? But anyway, so they have this one little one that they keep on going back and forth with. So this picture is Walter Wiggletoes looking at Otis like, I want that bone. Even though, if you can see, they have several other toys on the bed as well. They're such good little boys. Oh, I watched A Serial Killer's Apprentice last night. I don't know that I would recommend it. I'll just tell you that right now. We'll get to that in a second. This is a picture that I sent Nikki last night. With me laying in bed. Here was Otis sleeping on the bed last night. Oh, this was when Alex was watching a show and I took a nap. When did I take a nap? Was that? Oh, that was after my walk. Yeah, I posted this last night because there was Walter and he was sleeping up near me. Here's when they were both sleeping next to me, and you can see Walter has his little eyes open. Hold on a second. Where did the picture go? Hold on. Walter has his little eyes open looking at me. Otis always sleeps right next to me. And then here was me at the end of my walk last night. And here was me at the beginning of my walk last night. Oh, it'll have a time on here, won't it? And I know where I was when I started walking there. Does it say what? 5:55. And I was probably 10 minutes into my walk. So yeah, 5:45 is when I started last night. By the way, Happy Valley, I am so loving this show. I love this show so much. So anyway, I went on my walk last night. So here was the deal. Oh, I know what I did while I was waiting for it to render. That's when I was doing the laundry in the basement, the towels. And I was cleaning the kitchen and stuff. And, oh, and feeding the dogs, taking them out, doing all that kind of stuff. Did I feed them before I vlogged? I don't. No, I wouldn't have fed them before I vlogged. Anyway. The whole time I was listening to Merry Christmas, Alex Cross. Alex was watching TV. I was listening to Merry Christmas, Alex Cross. So I finished Merry Christmas, Alex Cross. I think I had like 20-some minutes left, 23 minutes or something like that. Finished that one. And then I started the next one when I went on my walk. And that one was, it was funny because Mel had given this book 4 stars. And I even said something to her. I was like, girl, did you really give this book 4 stars? Because like almost all the Alex Cross books I've given 3 stars. They're good. They're entertaining to listen to. But like, they're not really that great of thrillers. And I mean, especially the further you get. And so I said something to Mel when she read it. Because I'm still catching up on the July books. And so I said, did you really give this book 4 stars? And she's like, yeah, it was really good. Alex Cross Run. Well, I ended up giving it 4 stars. So I started it last night on my walk. And then everything's coming together now. I'm remembering everything. So when I came back from my walk, Alex was upstairs in bed. And he was hanging out with the dogs and they were like watching that show, whatever. And I said, what are you guys doing? And he was like, well, I'm getting ready to go downstairs and like heat up some pizza rolls or something like that. And I said, okay. I said, I think I'm going to run to the pool real quick. So I ran to the pool and then I came back. Who was at the pool with me? Oh my God. I met this woman at the pool that's living with her aunt over here somewhere. I've never seen this woman before. But it was real weird. I mean, they were very, very nice. It was weird just, it wasn't weird. It was awkward. I felt like I was kind of like interrupting a date or something. So when I walked down there, I was like, is there a lot going on at the pool or whatever? Because I got home. I mean, if I left at 5:45, so I walked 56 minutes last night. Should we see the spike on my steps? So you can see that I have like not been doing my steps at all. Let's see the spike on my steps. I didn't even look. Woo! Look at that spike from last night, baby. Okay. So anyway, yeah, it's time to get back into the steps. So, and get back into the walks. And I really enjoyed it last night. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be whipping out these books, these audiobooks left and right. So when I started walking down the pool, it was like 7 o'clock or something like that. And I told Alex, I said, I won't be up there very long. He was like, take your time. So a pool crew lady number 2 is out in her yard. I wonder what she's doing. She's doing something to her planters. Is she taking her planters down and putting mums up or something? It's too early for mums. My neighbor across the street, did you hear her the other day? She wants to get her mums and then she wants me to do the garden tour. So we like completely missed the summer garden tour this year. Oh, somebody's going to the pool right now. Who's this? Is this the people that... No, that's not who I was... Is that the couple that I met at the pool yesterday? I think it might be. I think it... Okay, so... I think it's the couple that I met at the pool yesterday. So when I was walking down the pool, there was like... Do you guys remember me telling you the story about Laura and she was like... Said something about the guy at the pool the other day. She kind of thought he was like good looking. Anyway... It's like him and like his 2 sons that are like 8 and 10 or something like that. And I think he might be staying with like his parents or something like that down there. So he's like right down. Remember I said like nobody walks down the neighborhood without their shirt on and he like walked. Okay, it's him. He's like down there. He was real nice. When I walked down there last night, he's like, hey, he's like the guy from the pool. And I was like, yeah. So, but he has like this big truck and it's like, so I know where he's staying now. So anyway, I think they're just like staying there for like a week or something. Probably seeing grandma and grandpa or something, you know? But anyway, so he and his 2 boys were like tossing the football in the street when I walked by. And I was like, is it like real busy at the pool and stuff like that? So I get to the pool and on the way down there, I had started, on my walk, I had started that book. So I was like sitting up at the pool. And at that point, Laura she had texted me that she might come up to the pool. She hadn't decided yet if she was going to come or not. And so I was sitting at the table. I was like, I'll just wait for Laura to come up to the pool. She didn't end up coming to the pool. So anyway, while I was sitting there, I just like I was sitting in a chair and I like had my feet, I hadn't gotten in the pool yet. And I brought I love these protein waters that I got. Actually, the new brand that I'm drinking, which is called like ISO water or something, Nikki got me started on. They're not the ones that I originally drank. I like both brands. But they're kind of like a mix between like a Gatorade, but like a Gatorade that has like a high amount of, I think the ones I'm drinking now have like 32 grams of protein in them. And I really, really like them. And I usually drink them like after I get back from my walk and stuff like that. So I had one of those up at the pool. I was just like sitting there and had my AirPods in and I was listening to the new Alex Cross book. What's the one I'm listening to now? No. It was Run Alex Cross Run, or Run Alex Cross, whatever. I was listening to that one because I was like, I've got to finish these. I wanted to finish the books this weekend. So I was sitting there, and this guy keeps on walking by like the fence. Well, I kept on looking at him, like, is he asking me to let him in or whatever? Like, he was like my age. He had like, he was dressed real nice. He had on like a pair of khaki shorts and like some kind of like polo looking shirt or something. I don't know. He looked like, it was kind of weird. Like he kept on walking by the gate and I was like, does he want, so I kept on looking over, and then as soon as I would look over, he'd like walk away. Well then, this woman walked in. Oh, no. Before then, the guy that closes the bathrooms, so there's like, all these positions. The guy that comes and locks the bathrooms at the pool and stuff, he came up there to lock the bathroom. And so he came up there, and so he was talking to me, and he was like, hey, going for a night swim? And I was like, yeah, and whatever. And the guy kept on walking by the gate, like outside of the gate. And I didn't understand it. And so the guy that was like locking the bathrooms kept on looking at him too, and like, what's going on and whatever. And so, but he didn't ever ask me or him to like let him into the pool. I was real confused by it. I mean, it was like obvious he wanted in here, but I didn't understand why. Because he didn't look like he was going swimming or anything. So anyway, so then the pool guy leaves. He like checked the pool and stuff and locked the bathrooms because I always lock them. It would have been about 7:30 at that point. Yeah, because he said he said something. He's like, yeah, when he walked out about locking him at 7:30. He said something to that guy about it. And I didn't really understand that part of the conversation. Anyway, all I know is that this woman walks up and she's got like these 2 plastic like wine glasses. And so she walks in, she's got her key, and she comes in, never seen her before. And so I said to her, like, she sat down and she sat down with him, and they sat down like at a table across from me. And it was very obvious that this was like a date. I was like, oh, this is like the end of a date or something like that. Because I'm just sitting there like this, like listening to my audiobook, like ready to dive into the pool. But now, like, this is what I said was weird. Like, now they're like sitting there by the pool, like, thinking like nobody's gonna come up to the pool. And I'm sitting there, I almost left, because I was like, this is so uncomfortable, I should just leave, right? Like, they're sitting over there having their wine. And so all of a sudden she turns around and she said, he said he locked the bathroom. And I said, yeah, he always locks them at 7:30. And I said, and she goes, do you have the code to the bathroom? And I said, no. I said, I don't know what the code to the, I know what the code to the pool and stuff, but I don't know the code to the bathrooms. That's a completely different thing. And she's like, oh, well, he really needs to use the bathroom. And I said, well, I'm sorry. I said, I don't, like, I was being really nice. And so she kind of like turned around. They were like laughing and whatever. And then she turned around again. She asked me something. I don't remember what she asked me. I've never seen this woman before here, this couple before. They were really, really nice. And so she said something about, she goes, do you come up here every night? And I said, no. I said, I try to come up here as much as I can in the summer. I said, do you live in here? I said, I've never met you before, whatever. I said, I'm Peter. I live, explain where I lived. And she told me her name, and she told me his name. And she's like, I live in here, but he doesn't live in here. And I said, oh, did you just move in here? And she said she was living with her aunt or something like that, or aunt or her mom or something. And she's like, but I haven't lived in here for very long and whatever. And then she looked at me and she said something about, it was real weird. She said, no, she said, we just thought we would come in here and have a glass of wine and finish up our dinner. And then she like winked at me, and I was like, what? Like, what's going on here? So anyway, then I was like, oh, I said, well, enjoy your night. I was like, what the F is going on here? Like, what was the wank for? Like, I'm confusion, right? So I'm like, oh, enjoy your night. So then I start acting like I'm like, I got my pool bag. I'm like acting like I'm rifling through my pool bag, like I got something in there that I need. You know what I mean? When I got nothing in there, but like sunbum and like nothing. My pool key. Like, what am I looking in there? So all of a sudden, like I sit back and I'm listening to my audiobook, and he says something to her, and then they're laughing again, and then they get up, and she's like, and I like took my AirPod out. I was like, oh, and she's like, we're leaving. And I said, okay. I said, have a nice night. So they start walking out, and they're like, I don't know if they were waiting for me to leave or like what was going on, but I took my shirt off. I got in the pool. I was like, I'm getting in the pool for a little bit. So I got in the pool and I waited around the shallow end. It's weirder telling it back than it was actually. It is kind of weird now. It wasn't just awkward. It was kind of weird now that I think back on it. I don't know. Did I miss some clues there? Why is that so funny to me telling it back now? I am like something can happen like right in front of my face, and I am like completely oblivious to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't catch things that other people will catch. Like, Alex and I will be somewhere. Where were we somewhere? It was just so, anyway, stuff happens to me all the time, and like, or happens around us, and I'm completely oblivious to it. Like, and I think of myself as I think of myself as a rather observant person, but sometimes like I just don't get it. Like, it just goes over my head. You know what I mean? Anyway, is it 6 o'clock yet? No, God. I'm all for getting this door fixed. So this appointment apparently is to see if we can maybe like speed up the process and not have to wait till like October or November to get the door fixed. If we can like maybe see if we can get it done a little bit faster. So anyway, and they have to take more measurements or something. I don't know what Alex talked to the guy on the phone. Somebody that Caroline recommended, and then Alex was like, you take care of everything else, I'll take care of this. And I said, okay, so I gave him the guy's number, and so, anyway, I don't even remember how it all went down now. I like messaged him, then Alex messaged him, then Alex was talking to him, then the guy came out here the other day, and then he had to take a picture at the end, and then I guess him and Alex were like texting about getting measurements for the window, and then Alex was like, let's see if we can get it done a little bit quicker, and I was like, okay, so anyway, we have this appointment at 6. Which with both appointments, the first one and then this guy, they both showed up here like right when the appointment started. So I have a feeling it's 5:50 right now. So I have a feeling they'll be here like right at 6 o'clock. Anyway, so I didn't stay in the pool for very long. I actually got out of the pool. I was probably in the pool for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I got out of the pool and then I dried off and I sat there because it was still really warm last night. And I was like, I'm going to dry off for a little bit, and I listened to more of my audiobook. So when I came back, this woman is so mean. She has walked, since I've been vlogging, she's probably my age, and she's walking pretty fast. Can you hear her in the leaves? The leaves are falling like crazy in Indiana, by the way. She's walked 3 times around here since I've been sitting here vlogging. I sometimes, like, when I walk at night, like, there'll be people sitting on their patio. I wonder if they're vloggers, too. The way people sit in their front patio, or like, I love when people, because it reminds me of my mom when I was growing up as a kid, people have like the fold out chairs in their driveway and they'll just be like drinking a beer or something. Like, I love that, you know, or like the old like charcoal, my neighbor across the street, he on the corner, my neighbor, pool crew lady, number 1, her husband, one of those charcoal grillers, he always pulls it out. My mom had one of those. But when I'm walking, I'm like, sometimes I'll even in my head be like, I don't want to walk down this street again, because these people be like, didn't he just walk down the street twice? But it just makes sense in my head to get my minutes in, you know? If you're a walker, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But anyway, so I sat there and I listened to more of my audiobook, and then I came back, and then Alex was downstairs, and the dogs were in their beds. They were like half asleep, and Alex was watching that show, and so... Who was I talked to? I talked to my sponsor last night. Who did I talk to? I talked to somebody before. Anyway, I went upstairs, I took a shower. And then when I got out of the shower, I got the dogs and I brought them to bed, and then they were like half asleep. And I was like, okay, this is perfect nap opportunity. I think Nikki called me then, and I said, I'm getting ready to lay down. The dogs are half asleep, so I'm gonna take a nap now. And she said, okay. And she was like, what'd she say? Something about... this is when we were texting about Big Brother. I was sending her pictures of real short fingernails. Funny pictures of real... Oh, that's where I sent her the picture. This picture last night. Hold on a second. I said, we are just so shady to each other. So her husband and her kids all watch this wrestling on TV, and I always give her a hard time about it. And I said, like, is it wrestling tonight? And she said, that's tomorrow. And she said, look at you, you're going to know the WWE schedule soon. And I said, I'm about to take a nap. And she said, call me when you get up. And so then I sent her this picture of me laying there with the dogs. And she said, nightmares, LOL, scared me, seriously, you should wear those glasses more. I said, girl, no, I hate those glasses. They're the ones I keep next to the bed. So anyway, we were texting, and then when we got up, so then I lay down. Oh my God, I took such a good nap last night. I still am like, when I wake up, like, I'm just like full of that physical anxiety. It's every time I wake up. It's more like on my naps. Like the last couple days when I've woken up in the morning, it's been better. But like when my naps, like I literally feel like I'm shaking. So I got up. My hair was like all crazy because I'd taken a shower and stuff like that. And I got up. Alex had moved upstairs at that point, and he was watching a show, and I said, I can't remember, he had to be at work early this morning. So I said, how much, are you going to watch another show, whatever? And he said, I'm going to finish this episode, then I'm going to go to bed. And I said, okay, I'll take them downstairs. So I took the dogs downstairs and took them outside, got them a little treat and things like that. And got them some water and a treat, took them outside. We were out here actually for a while. And it's so cute to hear them like out, because they both like, you know, they're standing side by side, you know, in the leashes. And so like when the sound happens, they'll be like, And they both like, it's both like two heads going, whoop. Like, it's so cute. So came inside, and then they were running around like crazy for a while. And then Nikki and I were watching Big Brother. They actually settled down a little bit when Nikki and I were watching Big Brother. The camera stopped. My opinion on Big Brother has completely changed. Nikki and I were texting. So we watched Big Brother at the same time last night. What were we texting about? I haven't even texted her today. I'll text her. Now see, I'll start texting people. Texting Mel. Tanya's still at the lake. And who else texted me? Both neighbors texted me today. Oh, Valerini texted me. She had a dream that we put in a new sliding glass door with room darkening shades in between the window pane. She said, "Guess, LOL, guess I'm thinking of you." That was Valerini's dream. What were Nikki and I texting about? Best Buy, about Big Brother last night. Oh, she said, "Did you know you can watch Netflix on 2x speed?" I said, no, and don't tell me that, LOL. She said, "I was excited to find that out." I don't need to watch Netflix. Why do you want to watch Netflix on 2x speed? That's no. And so we were watching. I said I fast forwarded right through the HOA competition. I'm so, like, this season I am so bored of. But like literally last night, like everybody that I liked, it all switched for me last night and Thursday's episode. And she said, "Girl, LOL, not I am." And I said, "I just don't care about this season." I said, I hate saying that, but I just don't. She goes, "Same, I'm so bored." And then we talked about who won the HOH, and we were both happy. She said, "I'm happy so-and-so won." I said, "Girl, me, very much." I said, "At least this week it'll be interesting." And then I said who I want to go. And then she said she wanted that person to go too. And I said, we were talking about who we like. There's somebody in the house that like nobody likes, and we both like because we think they got a bad rap. We're like, because the first week, Jimmy, who's been long gone, lied about this person. And now everybody thinks this it's Keanu. And everybody, I mean, and I know like on the live threads and stuff like that, he hasn't been, I don't know anything. I've heard rumors about that, but I don't know. But anyway, we were talking about Will and Ashley. So Will and Ashley, I thought, like Ashley I didn't really like, and Ashley all of a sudden I love. Will seems so boring to me, and now I really like Will. Ava I love. Like, she played the game she wanted to play last week. So anyway, so then she said she was watching the live feeds. Oh, this is where I said this whole season is boring. She said, I just shut off the TV and I'm about to listen to a book. And I said, I just looked up POV. I had to. Because I was like, I cannot wait till Wednesday to find out who wins POV. And she said, who won? I was about to. And she said, please don't say so-and-so. And then I told her who won. And she goes, hopefully she won't use it. And then I said who I think will go home. I can't tell you guys in case I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So she said she's watching the live feed updates. I guess the person that won the POV said they're going to use it. She said that it will be interesting. I said I'm watching the Serial Killer's Apprentice, and she said let me know how it is. So anyway, oh, Mel texted me back. So anyway, then I watched, after Big Brother, I watched the Serial Killer's Apprentice. It's new on HBO. Okay, I'm not going to remember any of these people's names. So it's about Dean Corll, the serial killer in Texas in like 1973, 1974, that was shot and killed by his accomplice, apprentice, whose name is, why can't I remember this guy? It's like Elmer something. Oh, look at that picture of Mr. Wiggletoes. I don't know why I love that picture so much. Doesn't he just look like such a Wiggletoes? He's so sweet. The Serial Killer's Apprentice. So it's about this woman, and she wrote this book, and she's a psychologist. Dr. Ramsland shares an exclusive interview with Wayne Henley is what they call him. Wayne Henley, studying his journey from groomed teen to killer in the 1973 Houston mass murder. So I watched that last night. It's like an hour and a half on HBO Max. Oh, Mel texted me again. I knew I shouldn't start texting people while I was vlogging. But anyway, it was okay. Okay, so I looked it up to see. I watched another documentary about this case. I 100% know I did. And there's one that's called like The Candyman and the Cowboy, but I don't think that's the one that I watched. Does anybody know the other documentary about Dean Corll? I mean, I looked it up and the only documentary that comes up, maybe it was part of a documentary about Dean Corll, about Matt Dillon. Who'd watch that? Is there a documentary about Matt Dillon? Who'd care? A documentary exploring the crimes of serial killer Dean Corll, also known as the Candyman, as a serial killer's apprentice. But there was another documentary. Other documentaries. The Clown and the Candyman. Crime Stories, the Candyman. Maybe I just watched an episode. I looked up. I did not watch this Clown and the Candyman. Or did I? The Clown and the Candyman, profiling depraved 1970s serial killers John Wayne Gacy and Dean Corll and their links to a nationwide. Maybe I did watch that. I think maybe I don't know. I thought I watched a documentary that was just about Dean Corll and this Wayne Henley. But really what it's about is this woman psychologist. I don't love these confession tapes. I'll tell you that. I don't love these confession tapes like the Ted Bundy confession tapes where they like interview. I don't love those. I don't know why. They're boring to me and I just don't love them. But anyway, this was supposed to be this like exclusive interview after all these years where Wayne Henley was going to come out and he was going to share all this information. It wasn't. It was bits and pieces of her interviewing him for this book. This documentary is really to sell this book that she wrote, which is called The Serial Killer's Apprentice. Okay? I don't know. I'm gonna do a reaction to it. I have a lot of feelings about it. Like, she's very smart. And she's talking in there about, I don't know, like how he was groomed and all this kind of stuff. But then there's also like a sheriff and like residents that are like, I understand the aspect of him being groomed to be a killer. But then he goes on to kill like 6 other people, 6 other kids. I don't know. There's a lot about his story that doesn't fit for me that I just was like, I feel like he's lying to her. Like, I feel like he is big time lying to her. And she's supposed to be like this world acclaimed psychologist. And she don't even know that she's like educated in manipulation and all this kind of stuff. There's bugs all over this camera. And I'm like, she can't even tell that, what is this? Press and hold to change your wallpaper. Why would I want to do that? I don't want to change my wallpaper. Oh, Nikki texted me too. She just woke up from a nap. She is so lazy. Hold on. I got a call. Mel, F&B. Let me tell Nikki I'm vlogging. Mel turned right around on that F&B. She put nails. She put the nail emojis when I said F&B. She put the nails. 3 of them. Anyway, she said, hi, vloggerinos. That's what Nikki said. I'll tell her you said hi. Anyway, it was kind of a boring documentary. I felt like I knew everything about it. It's a sad documentary. 27 young men were killed. Yeah, I mean boys. Like, I think the ages were like 13 to 20. It was horrible. But I knew so much about the case already. I don't know how I knew about this case. I swear I watched some other documentary about it. I don't know how I saw this other case. But anyway, I watched some other documentary about it. Maybe it was like one episode of like something else I watched. I don't know. But I knew this whole case. A lot of like the victims' families were interviewed in it. That part was interesting. Wayne Henley's mother gave an interview like right before she passed away several years ago. That part was kind of interesting to me. But like she would ask him about stuff about like his childhood trauma and whatever, and he'd say, I don't really want to go there. I'm like, then why are we doing a documentary about this? Like, this is where I'm at with documentaries. Like, in all honesty, JonBenet Ramsey, O.J. Simpson, all these cases that they want to continue to relive over. The Zodiac Killer, please, not one more Zodiac Killer documentary unless you have definitive evidence, okay? Definitive evidence that blah, 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 whatever. I don't need another documentary just going through all of the information that we already have out there. I do want to say one thing. Stacey pointed out something yesterday in the vlog when I was talking about, she left a comment about this. Hey Stacey, how are you? About like age verification checks and things like that, and how like we're now having to like validate like our identity on like, you know, that a lot of people feel like our rights are being taken away from us. I 100% agree with that, Stacey. And I think you spoke for a lot of people when you left that comment. I 100% see that. I didn't necessarily see that at the beginning of like what people were concerned about with YouTube, because when I read into it, what I saw was it's not going to be a whole lot different than what I want to address this because a couple people left some very specific comments about it. Somebody was talking about their autistic child and like what they watch on YouTube based on their age and things like that. And that was a very interesting comment to me. So thank you for leaving that, because I was like, well, then that would be a really skewed system based on like AI. I as well am very concerned about like, you know, like having your ID to verify things and having people, I am very concerned about that as well. When I read into it, and like I said in my video yesterday, I didn't know a lot about it, but when I read into it to look it up, they were basically saying what I saw from YouTube's end was that a lot of these checks are already in place on YouTube. So it's not going to really change a whole lot, but I could be completely wrong about that. I don't, to be honest with you, like this is kind of what I was saying yesterday. When they roll these things out on YouTube, I don't really understand. I'm like, I keep on looking down here to see if like this guy's truck, because I'm like, I'll know his truck when he comes. But I'm like, I don't really understand a lot of them. So if anybody can like email me or point me in the direction of where like an article to read that would educate me. Oh, it is him. That would educate me on how YouTube is changing the verification thing. That would really be helpful to me, because I want to truly understand it. So thank you to Stacey and everybody else that left the comments about it. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna get off here, and we're gonna go meet with him and do all that in the measurements and stuff, and then I will be back in 2 and 2. Okay, I'm back. That was a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be. It is currently 7:20 p.m. So what did I say it was going to be like 15 or 20 minutes, and it's been like an hour and 20 minutes. But I have very exciting news for you guys. We are officially the owners of a new sliding glass door. So we have officially closed on the sliding glass door, and it will be here in, what did he say, 8 to 10 weeks. So the measurement person, like he did some measurements and they had to come out there, and then we picked everything today and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, it's just a real basic sliding glass door. We're not going, Alex, I wanted the French doors that open like this, but Caroline told me that the way that our living room is set up, like with the furniture, unless we moved all the furniture around, that it wouldn't, like, it'll open into the couch. It just wouldn't work. And then my neighbors next door, they have the French doors, and I really, really like how they look in their condo. But she told me she did not love, like, they didn't love the people that the company that did them, and she also said she doesn't love the whatever you call it, the French doors. And then I like the French doors. I think the French doors look really nice. But anyway, also just because it's kind of like a play on something different. It just feels different. I don't know. It feels like more like a room to me than. But anyway, and then Alex, like, in our room when we go to Mexico, where it has the, what do they call them? He called them something today. The doors that, like, go together like that, and you leave them all open to, like, walk out on your lanai, like you're in, you know, Golden Girls or something like that. But those would be so expensive that, like, it would be a complete room remodel, and so we're just going with the basic 3-panel door is what we're going. But it's done. The deal is signed, and that's why it took so long. So I didn't realize that that was all that was going into, well, we didn't know today. So anyway, we decided to go with this one company, and we're very, very happy with it. And we sat and talked to the guy forever, and anyway, you know, here's the problem. I said to Alex, like, when the guy left, I said, I didn't think it was going to be that long. And Alex goes, well, if you stopped asking so many questions. I ask so many questions, you know? And so he was like telling us where he lives, and he was talking about his kids and his wife, and they're building this property, they're building this house out somewhere. Then he was telling us about his ex-wife, and then where she used to work, and I knew somebody that used to work there, and he was telling us all. So anyway, it's never a 5-minute conversation with Peter Monn. But anyway, okay, but while I was in there, I was thinking about something, because I was thinking about taking my walk. I am going to take my walk. As soon as this is done, like, I got to get out of this house for a little bit. I feel like I have been cooped up in this house all day today. So as soon as this vlog is done, I am going to go for a walk. I don't care if it's a half an hour. I don't care if it's 15 minutes. I don't care if it's 3 hours. I am going for a walk because I got to finish this audiobook tonight. But, well, I don't have to, but I want to. So, or get farther in it. And then I'm going to go for a real quick swim, come back, and I'm going to take a shower, put my pajamas on, and hang out with the dogs. This is what I was going to say. I forgot to say earlier. So, when I was taking that picture that I sent to Nikki, like the goofy picture of me laying in bed, the dogs, hold on a second, the dogs kind of like wind down a little bit, like, you know, they're kind of like baby, well, they are babies, but you know, they start winding down, so they play, and it's like, you can kind of see it go like this. Like, the playing gets harder and harder and harder and harder, and like faster and faster, and then you can tell, like, as it's getting to like that point, it's about to like start, like, they're gonna start getting like tired real quick. And so they were playing on the bed last night when I was just like laying there, right? And I was listening to my audiobook, the James Patterson book. I think at that point, well, at some point I finished the second one, which was called Run, Alex, Cross. And then I started the third one, which is called Cross My Heart. I fell asleep listening to it, so I'm going to probably have to start this over. Maybe, I don't know. It's called Cross My Heart. I don't know if I want to, like, I feel like I should start this over. Well, I'm on chapter 8. Hold on. No. I'd added 20 minutes to it if I started all over. I'm going to start it all over. So anyway, just because I don't really remember a whole lot of it. But I was laying there in bed. Alex was downstairs watching a show at this point, and the fan was on, and I had turned, if I say it real loud, then everybody's will go off. Alexa. I had turned, like, I said, Alexa, turn Peter's light off, and so it turned my light off, so only Alex's light was on. It was kind of like real moody in the room. The dogs were winding down. They ended up like coming and sleeping next to me, and I was laying there with like my leg out, my arm tucked under, the fan was on. It was so nice. I was listening to my audiobook. I was so relaxed in that moment. Like, if I could be that peaceful, serene, and relaxed like all day long, well, first of all, I don't know if I get a lot accomplished, but because I get a little bit more accomplished when my mind's like, oh, but I was so relaxed in that moment, and I was just thinking back, like, when I was laying there, I was thinking back about, like, you know, Alex and I had this wonderful brunch, I had this wonderful nap, you know, that we'd hung out with the dogs all day, and it just was, I go into the pool. It just was such a wonderful day. Yesterday was just such a wonderful day. And I was just, I don't know, I was laying there in bed and I was so grateful. And I got up and, oh, I know what I did. Oh, Nikki just texted me a long text. She's texting me about some book she's listening to. She says this book is crazy. She's been listening to it all day. The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry. I have, but I'm obsessed with listening to books while I do stuff during the day. Girl, me too. I do throw on my AirPods now and listen to books when I can, because I'm getting so back into the audiobook thing. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. Like, yesterday was just such a good day. It was such a relaxing day. It was so nice. It takes me moments like that of just like utter peace and serenity and relaxation when I'm laying there in bed. And I just, in that moment, I'm like, oh my God, I feel so good, to really realize like how good I have it sometimes, you know? I think I've worked so hard in my life to get away from complaining and negativity and toxicity. I just really, like, you know, there was a period in my life, a long period in my life, long before I was ever on YouTube, where I was surrounded by a lot of negative people. I felt like I had a lot of negative people in my life. I was very negative, and I think we kind of just fed off of each other, and I just don't really have that today in my life. I really don't. Like, I just don't like toxicity, negativity, people that are constantly complaining, constantly negative. Go over there and do it. I don't want any part of it. Like, I just don't, you know? Just sit over here, and you got issues with me, go have your issues with me over there. Like, I don't want any part of that. I just want to be peaceful and serene and enjoy my life. And you know, and I feel so grateful that I have that today. The people that are in my life, they're positive impacts on me, and I hope that I'm a positive impact on them. I think that I am. And I think that we kind of feed each other with that positive thinking. And I don't know, it's just like, I look back on those periods in my life where I feel like, I think it's kind of the art of complaining a little bit, where you, whether it was like in a work environment or just with friends, where it's like, oh, let me complain about this. Yeah, let me complain about that. And then all of a sudden, it's just like your language becomes complaining. And then you just have this negative attitude, this outlook and attitude on life that you're constantly just negative. And then that just becomes kind of how you see things. And I think I became that way for so long. My neighbor is still out there in the yard doing stuff. Look at her. And I think I just became like that over time. And that negativity just really drained me. It really affected me. So last night when I was laying in bed, I just was like, in that moment, I just was like so happy, and I just was so like peaceful. It was like, the dogs are falling asleep next to me. I'm listening to this audiobook. I'm just in the element. I got to go to the pool, you know, put on my cozy pajamas. I just had such a great day. You know, got to spend most of the day with Alex, got to take my walk. It just was such a wonderful day, you know, and I was so grateful for it. So I wanted to say that. But anyway, last night, did my prayers and stuff real early last night. I forgot about that. Anyway, then after watching Big Brother, I watched A Serial Killer's Apprentice. I think I was talking about that before I got into the YouTube stuff at the end, before the guy got here. I don't know, like, I felt very unresolved about, I didn't know if that was an advertisement for the woman's book. They show her book several times. She'll pat it, and she'll be like, well, in my book. And I'm like, is this whole documentary just like an advertisement for your book? I didn't really get it, because I'd watched some documentary where literally everything they shared in this documentary. She was like, we need to come up with new words for this happening. I don't know. I had a lot of questions when I finished the documentary, and I didn't feel like the documentary was that well done. In all honesty, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, if somebody said, like Nikki asked me, and she's like, let me know what you think. I said, I don't think you need to watch this doc. I don't think you'll love it. I really, really want to watch The Biggest Loser one. So many people keep on telling me about that, so I'll probably watch that tonight. But yeah, I just was kind of like, I mean, it is what it is. It just is. It felt more like an episode of something else. I don't know. And it's like on the top 10 list for all of like the true crime documentaries that are coming out like August and September, October. And I was like, why is this on the top 10 list? And the other thing is that the whole thing about it is like, this is the first time that Wayne Henley has ever I think it's his name, Wayne Henley is ever speaking to like being interviewed. But he doesn't really. Like you hear, I mean, he does. You hear his like, so what they do is, they show his phone interviews, but they don't. They show an actor playing him like on a payphone from prison, and then they show her sitting at a desk, acting like she's talking to him on the phone. But what it really is it's her recordings of interviewing him when he was in prison for her book, is what it is. So no, it's not really like, and he doesn't come up with really any new information. I don't know, like, a lot of the hard questions she asks him, he'll say, like, I don't really want to talk about that, or I don't really want to get into that today. I feel like I've watched enough of those shows. What did I just watch where he does that? It was some true crime that I just watched where the guy was like, I don't want to get into that today. I feel like that is such a manipulation tactic. It's a control tactic. Like, I'll talk to you, but I'm going to be in control of the conversation. When you ask me, the questions that everybody wants to know. Sherry Papini just did that. That's who did it. When you ask me the questions that everybody wants to know, I'm going to deflect and say I'm not really in a place to talk about it today. Sherry Papini did that through that whole interview that I just watched. And it was like, girl, if not now, when? Like, seriously? Like, how many of these interview documentaries do you think they're going to be putting out? Like, I don't have it in me to watch one more Sherry Papini documentary, okay? I don't think that woman deserves to be famous for any reason. I think she lied about everything. I think she deserved what she got coming to her. And do I think that there's a lot of mental illness there? Yes, I do. Please go take care of it, okay? Like, I have a hard time having sympathy for that woman when her own mother looked at the camera and said, no, she wasn't kidnapped. She made the whole thing up. You know, and then she's still sitting there spinning lies, and then they're asking her questions, and the last question she asks is, do you think this movie will hurt me or help me? I think it hurt you, Sherry Papini. And so then you got this guy that's been in prison since 1974, and the first interview he ever does, she's asking him hard-hitting questions about his alcoholic father, and he goes, I don't want to talk about that today. Well, this is your time to talk about it. You wanted this. You wanted to do this interview. This is your time to talk about it. And if they're not going to, then let's not make an hour-and-a-half documentary bringing more attention to them and less attention to the victims. Because this documentary was about this Henley guy, okay? It wasn't, I mean, they had the victims, a cousin of one. I mean, half the victims' families are gone. I mean, this was in the 70s, you know? I was 2 years old, 1 year old when this happened. So, most of the people, their families are gone. These people have been long forgotten. There was no, I mean, they flipped through the pictures at the end of it, like, literally like it was on a slide projector. I mean, that's what it was supposed to be like, right? And they're just like, duh, duh, duh. And I was like, they had like one friend of Wayne Henley speak. It was very much a sympathy piece for let's feel sorry for Wayne Henley. I feel sorry for the fact, if everything that he said lines up and is true, with his connection with Dean Corll, but that also didn't, he said he felt, I don't know, a lot of his things didn't connect. This is where I wish I would have taken notes, because I didn't. But a lot of his things didn't connect, because he said he had a hero complex. And his hero complex was what made him do these things, okay? Put himself in these positions. And then the psychologist was like, he read a lot of science fiction, a lot of fantasy, that gave him this hero complex. He always wanted to save people. But when he was given the opportunity to save people, he didn't. Until the very end when he killed Dean Corll, okay, and saved this girl. He never saved anybody. There were many opportunities for him to have called the police, saved people. And then he said that he was very afraid of the syndicate thing, which I'd heard about that. And in this documentary, they acted like the syndicate was true because of, like, pictures that were taken and sold in magazines. But the other documentary that I watched, I remember, they said there was no truth to the syndicate whatsoever. It was like a group of men that were doing this. Now, I'm a big believer in those kind of syndicate things existing. I really do believe that. But do I believe that a serial killer in Houston, Texas, and Pasadena, Texas in 1974 was part of a bigger situation, but he was independently working by himself? I don't know. Like, And also, he said there was a syndicate, and then the one friend of his that had gone missing in his neighborhood, Dean Corll told him, this is where his stories didn't match up, but they never explained it. He said the kid was taken, and he was now like a pool boy living in Hollywood, and the syndicate had taken him there. But then later, Dean Corll told him that that kid was dead, and that he had killed him. And that's when he stopped believing in the syndicate. Then they interview him 50 years later, and he's talking about the syndicate again. I'm like, this is not matching up for me. So why are we listening to this person that's not even going to get honest about something that they did in the early 1970s? I mean, this is your chance, okay? Like, you want to see a good movie about redemption and telling the truth? It's a true story. Watch Dead Man Walking with Sean Penn and Susan Sarandon, where she plays Sister Helen Prejean, who is a real person, and that was a real case that happened. And she continues to go to jail to see him. The movie is fantastic. I think she was up for an Academy Award. He may have been too. But I remember my mom's friend, my mom's sorority sister, like, loved Sister Helen Prejean. And when my mom and her friend went here to Butler and heard her speak and stuff like that. I remember, somewhere in this house, I have a tape of Sister Helen Prejean's, like, speaking engagement. But anyway, she was the chaplain for the guy that was convicted. I changed the battery before I started this, by the way. I thought ahead, didn't I? But anyway, she was the chaplain for him. I can't remember what his name is. But anyway, when you watch the movie, it's a fantastic movie. He thinks that she's coming there at first. Like, if he confesses his sins to her, then she'll get a pardon from the governor for his execution. Like, you watch the movie thinking that's what it's about, okay? That her coming to meet with Sean Penn is about, oh, it's just such a powerful movie if you want to talk about spirituality and religious belief. He is under the assumption that, like, he's so resistant to talking to her, that him talking to Sister Helen Prejean is about, if she believes that he is remorseful for what he did, then she will convince somebody, like the governor, to pardon him. But that was never what it was about to begin with for her. It was about redemption. It was about the act of forgiveness. That if he could get honest for the crimes that he committed of murdering these innocent people before he's executed, if he's genuinely honest, that in the eyes of God, that God will offer forgiveness to him. That's what this story is really, really about. I mean, it's such a powerful movie. So here, I'm watching this documentary. You got this guy, okay, that 70 years later still can't get honest, 50 years later, whatever, about parts of his story. And I'm like, watching this last night, I'm like, I'm going to watch it because it's an hour and 24 minutes or hour 30 minutes, but I was out after that. So then when I got done with that, I started watching, I'm on episode 4 of Happy Valley. That show, so apparently it was originally a Netflix show, but now it is, I had to pay for it. Nikki looked it up on Philo because it says it's available on Philo, but she couldn't find it. It's not on Netflix. I had to buy season 1 for like $12.99 or $16.99. It's 6 episodes on Apple TV. If you are like me and you will buy a show as long as it's good, I'm telling you right now, Happy Valley is so good. If you don't mind buying a show, because you have to buy the seasons. You can buy it probably on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, iTunes, I don't know. But it's not available to stream anywhere. I don't know why. It is, maybe I think it's on BritBox too. I think Tani told me she watched it on BritBox because she has the BritBox thing on Amazon or whatever. It's very much like Mayor of Easttown, Broadchurch, but I almost think it's better than that. I mean, I don't know. It's about this woman and she's like my age and she is this, I shared this yesterday. She's like, in case you missed yesterday's vlog. She is a divorced police officer in this small town that they call, the town is not called this, but it's called Happy Valley because there's always drug addicts there. She lives with her sister, who is like my age as well, that is a recovering heroin addict. So it's a lot about the underbelly of like the drug culture in that town. This beautiful area of England. Her one son will not talk to her. Her daughter has taken her life because of an incident that happened. I can't say the words on YouTube, that resulted in her grandson. So she now takes sole care of her grandson. Her ex-husband doesn't even refer to him as his grandson. It goes so deep. And then it's about solving this kidnapping case that happens. It is just, it's so good. It is so good, you guys. I mean, I would highly recommend Happy Valley. And somebody direct messaged me last night and said, oh my god, I love this show, the ending. And I was like, what about which ending of what? Season 1? Because it has 3 seasons and apparently ends conclusively. So I'm really excited about watching that. But yeah, that was my night last night. And we got a new window. Did I tell you that? We got a new window. So, oh blah dee, oh blah da, life goes on, and we got a new window. My dad used to stand, everybody's probably heard this if you've watched me for a while. My dad used to tell me the story that he used to stand in the window, his mom would say when he was a little kid. My dad loves to write poetry. And he would always say his very first poem was something like, he would go, window, pendo, sendo. And his mom always remembered that, my grandma. I'm going to have to charge my phone before I go on my walk. My phone it's almost never dead, my phone. Should we get to some comments? Some comments of life. Oh my god, Stephanie said, hi Peter, today is my birthday, 21 for the 24th time. I can't do that math. Does that make you young and beautiful? Happy birthday to you, cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday to you, cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday, dear Stephanie. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha, and many more from me and Steve the Squirrel, Walter, Otis, and Alex. Okay. Salk said, hi, Peter. Hi, Salk. There's a podcast called Cold in Season 1 is All in the Case of Susan Powell, and I highly recommend it. Okay, well, I appreciate that. Here's my stance on podcasts. Okay, I went through a period a couple years ago. I watched listened to Tom Brown's Body. I loved it. I love that you told me that. I need to listen to some true crime podcasts, but I'm also really trying to get back into the audiobooks. But I like true crime podcasts where the entire season is just one story, if that makes sense, like you just said, okay? I have to finish that Susan Cox Powell. I'm not super interested in that case. I don't know why. I don't know. I watched the documentary. The documentary felt kind of dated to me. I want to finish it and reserve judgment before it. I think it's kind of how it's done. The documentary was done. Do you know how, like, you can kind of, like, watch, like, some people were like, Mr. and Mrs. Murder was so boring. I thought it was so interesting, but I thought it was how it was done, too. A lot of how a documentary is done is, like, where my interest level is in it, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I'll write that down. I keep a list of podcasts, so I keep a list of everything. But thank you for that recommendation. Cauliflower! She said, well, we don't have matching weather today. It's almost chilly here. In fact, I'm making chili. Oh, my God. Chili. I love chili. I'm making chili because it's so cold. I love it. The first really cool evening we have here, I might have to either make chili or get chili from Skyline Chili. That does sound really good right now. Oh my God. This is so funny. I don't know if this is Linda. It's LA something. But there used to be a Linda with an LA name. So I don't know. Anyway, time to go shopping for the baby's winter looks. Got to get the boys sweaters and flannels. LOL. Okay. So earlier today, so in between like every video that I film, I take them out and then we have like, we lay on the bed and we talk. Okay, me and the boys. So the other day was when we were out running errands. I had to go get more poop bags and stuff like that. So Alex said, are you going to buy clothes for the dogs? And I said, because he said he started Pee-Pee really early on the clothes. Like the sweat. Pee-Pee loved to wear clothes, our Chihuahua. And so he said he started Pee-Pee on the clothes really, really early. And he thinks that's why Pee-Pee was always just like, he loved the sweaters. And I can remember for videos, I had this blue polo shirt that Pee-Pee loved to wear. And he would just go like that. Like he loved to put that stuff on. And Alex was like, but if you start them early, then they get real used to it, right? Okay. So I ran into PetSmart real quick. I did not look at it because I was like, okay, now is not the time to look at this stuff because I'm going to spend $200 on it. But PetSmart has all of their Halloween costumes out already. Alex asked me, he said, what do Otis and Walter want to be for Halloween? I said, well, I think that Otis wants to be a witch. He told me he wants to be a witch. And Walter wants to go as a scarecrow. And yes, they will be going trick-or-treating this year. Alex said, where? I said, well, to Mrs., because that's what we call her across the street. Boo Radley called her Mrs., the gardener. So to Mrs. house, maybe, and back. They don't need to go roll. But today we were having a conversation on the bed about what Halloween is and what Christmas is and Santa Claus, because Santa Claus is going to come visit. This is our first Christmas, you see? And Santa Claus, and then what Halloween is. And of course they're going to have all kinds of Christmas sweaters and Halloween sweaters. I still have this little cute sweater of Boo Radley's. He didn't like it. We only put it on one time. We took it right off. Boo Radley wasn't much of a clothes wearer. He didn't really like it. But anyway, it says B-O-O, and it's a it's like candy corn, and it says B-O-O. I have it in the closet. It's real cute. But anyway, no, they're not going to wear that. That was for Boo Radley. But they're going to have their own sweaters and stuff. So yes, I'm going to start buying them some clothes and things like that. Not a lot. But, you know, like when Alex and I first got together, I remember there was this clothing store that was like next to H&M. And I remember like we would go on these dates and like Alex would be like, that Halloween, Alex was like, Pee-Pee wants to be a bee for Halloween. And I was like, what? There was this Halloween, this store was like Elegante, okay, this pet store. And we would go in there and it was like, I don't know, it was probably, today I think it was nothing, but back, it was like a $40 like cost, this extravagant bee costume. He's like, Pee-Pee wants to be a bee for Halloween. Well, you know, I bought that bee costume. Then there was like this faux fur coat, okay? And he was like, Pee-Pee needs a fur coat for Christmas. So I bought him this fur coat. Pee-Pee couldn't even move in this fur coat. It was so cute. I have all these pictures and videos of he like literally can't even, because the fur coat is so big on him. It is so funny. But Alex at first was always like, Pee-Pee needs an Argyle sweater. Of course, if Pee-Pee needed it, I had to buy an Argyle sweater. So these boys are going to, yes. So we're going to be getting them some sweaters and things like that. Mandy. Hey, Mandy. Who did Tanya just see in concert? Oh, she just went and saw Rod Stewart in concert. And she said he was so good. She goes, he tells a lot of stories, though. I said, Stevie Nicks did that, too. I think they do that because they get tired or something like that. But she said that he told stories about, like, what was the... He told all the stories about what all the songs meant. Tawny Jean was telling me. Anyway. Somebody said, me waiting anxiously every Wednesday for a new episode of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I'm just a 30-year-old mom anxiously waiting for this teenage love triangle to be figured out. Taylor Swift music is heavily on the show. Oh, is it? I didn't know that, which I love. But yeah, I definitely didn't ever think Peter may enjoy this show. I would not enjoy that show. It's not my kind of show at all. I can barely like Outer Banks. I like because of the treasure hunting. But the romancing and... Am I almost at the 3-minute mark? The romancing and the, like, the rich kids, poor kids. I don't care about that stuff. Did they find the treasure? Don't tell me. I'll be out of that show real quick if you tell me. My big blue eyes. Put lots of blue hearts. But Mandy, thank you for that. I like the new hat too. Rachel said, sleepy time tea always disrupts my sleep too. Weird. So it's not the sleepy, I don't know what the brand is. It's called Dream or something like that. I don't know what it is. It's something I tried. Sometimes it works. It's like, you know, when people talk about melatonin, that stuff never worked for me. It's like, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. Ashlyn's, hey Ashlyn! She said, Olivia Colman is so funny in Peep Show. Love that show. Have to rewatch it every few years. What is Peep Show? Olivia Colman. You're the first person that's ever recommended this show to me. Peep Show, Olivia Colman. Here, pull it up. I love her so much. 9 seasons. It's a sitcom. Is she good in it? I love Olivia Colman so much. You have no idea. Okay. Now you're going to make me start watching another show. You know what? I didn't even look to see like where you can watch it. Hold on a second. Oh, it's on Tubi for free. Oh my God, it's on Tubi for free. And Amazon Prime for free. And BritBox and Hulu and Disney. Isn't Hulu going away though or something? Hulu, I don't know. She don't care. Okay. Where is this at? Oh, Christy, where'd your comment come out of nowhere? I really hope you do a short video on everything you watch. Sometimes I watch those to decide what I'm going to watch. And if I did watch it, I love hearing your opinion. Thanks for the vlog. Love you. Okay, so today my video was on Hunting Wives, and it was like 10 minutes. I tried to keep it short today, and I tried not to spoil it for anybody. So if anybody wanted to watch it and be like, should I watch the show? Should I? So I tried to keep it short. My comments just did something weird. They like refreshed, and then they... Mama said, hey Mama. She said... Dang, Peter, you are making me want Taco Bell. Oh, I want Taco Bell now. No, I want to walk more. I want to walk more. I hate this. As you get older, can we just talk about this? I hate this. The camera stopped. I was at the 30-minute mark. Why is my gut still here? But this. What is that? Turkey neck. Caroline's got me taking this collagen junk that tastes so bad. She swears by it. And I'm like, she's like, you know that's not going to go away. And I'm like, okay, but then what do you do? Like, you're overweight and you have no turkey neck, or you're walking your ass off, eating the right things and lose the weight and you got a turkey neck. Do you know, I know I just offended somebody out there. Listen, this is my body. If I want to call it a turkey neck, I'm going to call it. It's a turkey neck. What do you call that? Nikki said she pulls on hers. I don't. I try not to. I told her, I take these pictures of when I'm walking, and I'm so proud of myself that I'm out there walking. But then if you notice, here I'm telling on myself, if you notice, I straight up put it right across my neck. Like, time for a walk. And I put it like right here. Because I hate my neck now. But I have pretty shoulders. I do. It just sucks. I actually, to be honest with you, well, here, let's have an honesty moment about weight for a second, okay? I didn't say this yesterday, I meant to, but one of the reasons why I'm really trying not to weigh myself very much anymore, but I've been weighing myself like at least on Sundays. Y'all, I gained 4 pounds last week. 4 pounds. I am not even eating that different. 4 pounds. I might have DoorDashed once or twice. Like, I cannot go back. I cannot go back to that, okay? Like, first of all, I've gotten rid of half my clothes that fit back then. I cannot go back. I cannot do it. But I do feel like Tanya and I talk a little bit about this, like, because, you know, Tanya's lost weight too, and she lost it a year before I had, and she looks fantastic, and I'm like, I kind of feel like I looked a little bit better when I was heavier, though. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it aged the shit out of me, though. You know, I was like, I walk, you know, it's like, and then I take a picture, I'm like, I look 20, and I'm like, no, baby, you look 65 if you're a day. Okay. Oh, Sally said, it's hilarious. I clicked to watch, and I'm wearing the new white icon hat from D Squared. I love that. I'm like, look, we're hat twins. I love that so much. Hey, Sally. One of my favorite names, by the way. Somebody said, Sweet D said, thanks for sharing your babies. Aw, you're welcome. Aw, somebody said, don't cry, Walter sad eyes. He has such sad eyes, but he's so sweet. Oh, Sweet D said, I appreciate you being your own person. Thank you. Somebody said, Peter, LOL, nosy neighbor personified. Oh my God, I am. But everybody in this, I'll tell you who is the nosiest neighbor of all. Her, Laura. Listen, she could tell you business. I mean, when we go to the pool, I'll be like, I've never seen that lady before. And she's like, oh, that's Judy Smith. You don't know her? She lives over on so-and-so. She's lived there. I'm like, Laura, how do you know all this kind of stuff? She goes, my grandma told me. Laura is the best to know about the nosy neighbor drama in the neighborhood. Why do I feel like I hear Laura walking her dog? I don't, though. Anyway. Katie said, love the icon hat. Thank you. Oh, here's Stacy's comment. As more media companies bend to the federal government and settle with... yeah, okay. I agree with this. If you asked me 2 years, I would say people were fear-mongering now, though. Yeah. So if you have any articles about that, about the YouTube restrictions, please send me links so I can educate myself more about that. Thank you. Aw, Melissa, you've been around forever. She's been around forever. You really are such a great-looking man, Peter. Just keep getting better, too. Aw, thank you. Jenna said it was in the low 70s in Wisconsin and cold at night. I'm ready for fall. Well, I don't want the pool to close. I'm, like, so right there on the fence where, like, I'm ready for fall. But I know I'm going to go through this grieving period when they close the damn pool. Really, the pool closing is kind of the end of summer for me, even though it's still nice outside, because it's not like I'm going to get a hose and hose myself down the front yard or do a slip and slide, you know what I mean? Oh, Sally, again, said 31 right here. Haha, I love being in your highest demographic. Also, I am so interested in the family vlogging topic. I also respect how you keep your word about not really talking about her, but Shannon Rose is so interesting to me. I haven't really... There was something that came up. She, to my knowledge, was one of the first family vloggers to move over to Tennessee. Did Shannon Rose move to Tennessee? Oh, I didn't know that. Sally, if you'd like to, I don't know that I'll make a whole video about her because I said I wouldn't. No, I'm not going to do that. But that's interesting to me. I didn't know that. She said it's disappointing because I used to like her, but she's another that has fallen down. Yeah, I haven't kept up with Shannon Rose in years. The last time I knew anything about Shannon Rose, so Shannon Rose, for those of you that do not know, I mean, I mention her from time to time in videos, like, I didn't say I wouldn't mention her. I said I wouldn't make dedicated videos about her is what I told her. And Shannon Rose, first of all, is the only YouTuber that has ever reached out to me on my drama channel and said, would you please not make videos about me? This was literally like 8 years ago, you guys, okay? Or I don't know how long ago. And we actually had a very nice interchange. And I said to her, I will, if you can explain to me why you don't want me to make videos anymore. And she did, and that's private. And I totally understood why she was asking me not to make videos anymore. I mean, enough time has gone by now that if I made a Shannon video, Shannon Rose, well, first of all, who'd care? But if I made a Shannon Rose video today, I don't know. I think, I feel a different way about it. But there's enough people for me to make videos on. Nobody else has ever asked me. The only other person is Toddy Westbrook asked me not to make a specific video. But I didn't even know what she was talking about in that case. Those are the only two people. But I kind of like at that point, I kind of stopped checking into what Shannon... I never made that many videos about Shannon Rose anyway. But I kind of stopped checking into what Shannon Rose was doing. I don't know which documentary it was. Somebody out there will know what I'm talking about. Shannon Rose... It was a documentary about family vloggers. Was that Jody Hildebrandt? Because I was like watching it. I think people had told me that before, that Shannon Rose was interviewed for it. And I was like, why are they interviewing Shannon? I did not realize that Shannon Rose... Okay, when I stopped covering her, she had just started getting into like the family vlogging stuff. I don't really know that whole period of her life. But when I watched her in this documentary, she was like on a pickleball court and she had a hat on and they were interviewing her as like an expert of family vloggers. I did not realize that Shannon Rose was that well known as a family vlogger. So, and I didn't know that she had moved to Tennessee. Tennessee. But all the best to Shannon Rose. Let's see. Stacy said, I listened to the Cold podcast about Susan Cox Powell. I think about her all the time. I need to watch a documentary. The podcast was really good. Well, now 2 people have told me to listen to that podcast, so maybe I should. Is the podcast more interesting than the documentary? Stacy never steers me wrong. So when Stacy always recommends books to me, and I always love it. Somebody said I paid $13.99 per month for ad-free viewing. I'm assuming you're saying on YouTube. It's the best $13.99 I've ever spent. The ads got so annoying, I couldn't stand it any longer and caved and bought the membership. I think YouTube does it on purpose so you'll give it and pay the money. I don't know about that, okay? I don't know about that. I let ads play through. I don't really care. I'm like, let the person make their money. Unless it's like obnoxious. But I don't really care. I will tell you this, that because people ask me this all the time, like when you go into your analytics, first of all, I don't live in my analytics. Some YouTubers do, and they can tell you everything about their analytics. I don't. But if you go in there, like I could go in here right now and I could tell you like how much I've made per channel in the last month on people that have whatever that is. YouTube, what's it called? Caroline has it, YouTube TV or YouTube, whatever it's called, the membership. Because you get actually, like if you have YouTube, whatever that's called, and you watch one of my videos, I actually earn a higher percentage rate for people that watch it, but we don't earn it per, I don't think it's per ad. I think it's per video is how that works. I don't know. I don't know about this stuff. I don't really, listen, I don't get it ate up with that much. I just don't, you know? I try not to. Somebody said Tim Hortons is on every street corner in Buffalo, New York. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, Lana. Hey, Lana. She said, I read this one last night. She said, or maybe this morning, I love the movie review channels. My favorite is Fish Jelly Film Reviews. They are these cute married gay couple, and they are so funny. I've never heard of them before, so I'm going to go watch that. Cherry said, hello, Peter. Hey, Cherry. Love, love, love that denim icon hat. Please start doing movie review reaction videos. I'm a person that doesn't watch a lot of TV series, but I do watch a lot of movies. I would love to hear your opinion about movies. Okay, so is it Cherie or Cherry? I don't know. I feel bad. I think it's Cherry. Okay. Do I start an 8th channel? Do I start an 8th channel? And no, it's not my nature channel. I'm kind of over that for right now. Have you figured that out? That may be something that we revisit once the dogs are settled. That would be a 9th channel. I probably would just do it on my Peter Dostuff channel from time to time, nature cams. If I do the nature cams, I'm just going to integrate it into my Peter Dostuff channel. But do I start... Okay, let's not get real serious about this, okay? Let's just... It takes 2 seconds to start a new channel. Do I start a new channel and call it Peter Watches Movies? Because I have Peter Watches TV. Then I just do movies over on my Peter Watches Movies channel? Or do I put the movies on my TV review channel too? I know everybody's going to be so serious about this and be like, no, just include it all in one. You should actually just have one channel called Peter Everything. And but yeah, because that makes sense. Because everybody's going to be running over there for them Peterisms videos. Cherry, Cherry, you're the only person whose opinion I count. Whose opinion I count. No, that's not true. But Cherry, I do want to hear what you say because you said you like to watch movie reviews. So let me know. And I'm going to go check out the Jellyfish movie review one. Y'all let me know if you think I should start a 9th channel. Coming to you in September. I don't see enough movies. That's the problem. But I do want to start that channel. Maybe next year. I always said I was never going to have a 7th channel, then I started a 7th channel, but it is what it is. I'm keeping up with them. I mean, today, baby, I filmed 5 videos out of my 7 channels. The only ones I didn't film on were my BookTube channel and my table building channel. My table building nature channel. But see, if I got a nature cam and that Peter Does Stuff channel, I just did hauls and nature cams on, people would leave in droves. No, but I could just put up the nature cam every morning. No. Anyway... Always thinking. 1,000,001 ideas. Anyway, I'm going to get off here now. I'm going to go take my walk. Oh my God, it's 8:02 already? Let me just randomly pick some. Lana, it's your fault. It's your fault that I vlogged for so long today. Anyway, I hope you guys are having, it's not Lana's fault. Don't blame it on Lana. I hope, and don't blame it on Lana either. I hope you guys are having a magically amazing Monday and a fantastic beginning to your week. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.